Hey guys, this is Zach Libby of the Wolverine.com, and we're back with another signee spotlight featuring Michigan's 2024 recruiting class. With us is defensive lineman Ted Hammond out of Cincinnati St. Xavier. Ted, thank you so much for getting on with us. Just first off, how does it feel knowing that you are officially a Michigan Wolverine?
Yeah, I just feel relieved. I mean, God has blessed me with this opportunity. I've been committed since January. Kind of all those talks throughout the off season is Michigan the right place? Is Michigan home? Has finally come to an end with me writing that name on that paper. So just having the opportunity and having my name on that paper has given me great relief.
Let's go back to that month in January because Mike Elston, defensive line coach, gave you an offer. And then you went immediately to Ann Arbor on a return visit for a junior day event. And then less than 10 days later, you were committed. Take me through those 2 weeks and just looking back on that, what did you see? What did you do? Just why did you feel like you were ready to commit to Michigan?
Yeah, I'm going to start back. Kind of my first visit at Michigan was just when I was a sophomore, just a little sophomore, young buck, about 6'4", 230 pounds, and just not getting recruited by a lot of people, not getting looked at by anybody. But I went to Michigan because Coach Elson wanted me out there. And
Mhm.
so that very first moment when I had that one-on-one conversation in his office where he treated me as like a team, like a player, like one of his players, he just showed me how the practice ran, had a conversation with my dad. And so that from that very moment, I knew Michigan was the spot. And when I got that offer in January, I was like, Dad, we got to go up. Let me look at this place like I'm going to go there since I had that offer. So we went up and kind of everything pointed to home. I met all the coaches, all the coaching staff. I had a sit-down meeting with Coach Harbaugh. Coach Herb gave his amazing presentation on that board in the weight room. And I was like, this is it. This is home. I don't need any more time. Who's got better than us? That Michigan always says that. And I was like, no one's got better than Michigan. So let's just lock it in right now.
How was the reaction from everybody close to you, family, friends, maybe even rival schools like or the entire Cincinnati area? Just how are you feeling also? But just how was the reaction when you committed to Michigan?
Well, just being in Cincinnati, Ohio, you get that immediate reaction where it's like, no Ohio State, no, you don't want to go to Ohio State where they're even recruiting you. And I was like, I could get an offer to Ohio State. I still don't want to go to Ohio State. I want to go to Michigan. And just right now, being after just signing, I started to see the tide turn of Ohio State fans going to Michigan fans, which I love to see. I mean, it's my hometown. I love to see people supporting me wherever I go. And so it's just a great ability just to have that.
Now, you speaking of just feeling that love, right? Like you've recently been on 2 visits. Well, I guess one actual unofficial visit, right, for the
Yep.
Ohio State game. How was that? But also, you were there in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship, just as a fan, as a spectator. I think it's interesting that you went to both because you gave yourself an opportunity just to see what the next steps are after beating Ohio State.
Yep.
So, was it easy just to envision what it's like starting next year when you're actually on that sideline, in pads of what it's going to be like in 365 days?
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Brooks Baller, who I kind of looked up to in this recruiting process, go on that field in the Big Ten championship because I kind of look at my play style similar as his. So I was like, man, that could be me. That could be me next year running out in this field, running out in front of 80,000 fans, or what was it at that game? I got to see in the stands to see how much love those fans have for Michigan football. So just placing my ability and my who I am as a player onto that field kind of helps me go to sleep, but it just fires me up to get ready in the morning, to wake up, to train so I can get that ability to be on that field and get coached by those coaches.
Now, you recently your senior season came to an end. You are first team All Ohio for Division One, but not only you, like Jordan Marshall, Ben Roebuck, Luke Hamilton, you four from Ohio are all first team. Um, let's start with your relationship with those three first. Knowing that you guys come from similar roots and backgrounds and are experiencing the same journey, what's it like with them? How's your relationship with them? And what does it mean knowing that you four talented players are going to be together in Ann Arbor?
Yeah, just knowing those guys are soon to be, if not, they're already my best friends. Yeah, same roots, just like you said. Me and Jordan played in the GCL, so we've had the similar coaching, similar weight room style. So just knowing I have another person that kind of went to my high school that I go to another school with, because I remember when I was a freshman orientation in my high school, I was nervous looking around people I know, but going to Michigan, I already know those four guys. I already have a great connection with those guys. So being able to have that connection, it's like kind of the big fish in a small pond, but Michigan's a huge pond. So when you have a big fish and you have other fishes with you, you just keep growing. And so knowing those people are with me is just a great mindset. It helps me rest my mind knowing that I have people in my corner. I have people to talk to when I'm going to Michigan.
Now, specifically with Marshall, you both have been open about, your guys' love for country music and the fact that you guys go to country music festivals. I asked Jordan the same question, and I'll ask you, what was your favorite festival that you guys have been to? He said Dan and Shay, but what was your favorite? And just specifically with Jordan, just how is it with him overall?
My favorite country concert, we went to Riverbend. We saw Zach Brown band. Man, that was good. That was really good. And we went like before we were really even rivals. I know we both played when we were sophomore, but we went to Zach Brown after they defeated us in the playoffs. So it was like business on the field. You're my enemy on the field, but after the field, he's my best friend. So just
Mhm.
going to those concerts, having that experience with him, like he's one of my buddies, is really, really key to our success. And it was one of the keys that helped me commit to Michigan. Also, I know he said that was one of the biggest impacts of him going to Michigan, which kind of gave me pride and gave me joy knowing that he's going there, and I'm one of those reasons.
Jordan said Skyline Chili is the best thing to eat in Cincinnati. Do you agree with that? I know it's a very it's a hot topic. Like you either love it or you hate it.
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan, but I know if I don't have it in 2 months, I'm craving it. But I
Yeah.
know people who come down from Michigan or like across the country when they come to Cincinnati and they have Skyline Chili, they're like, this is not it. But if I'm going to a go-to spot in Cincinnati, I'm either going La Rosa's, or if I'm going fine dining and somewhere nice to eat, I'm going Montgomery Inn. I know I went with Coach Elson when he had a home visit. He came to my house and my family took him out to Montgomery Inn. Those are my two go-to spots.
That's like the go-to. Is that a steakhouse or is that a
It's a ribs. It's ribs. You can get
ribs?
steak
Okay.
there.
I've heard good things about there anytime I'm down there. I'll have to check it out next
Really
time.
good.
Awesome.
Really good. You need it.
For sure. Now, there's 27 of you guys right in the 24 class. With all of them, how is your bond with all of them? And can you kind of pinpoint as a reason why you guys are all brothers, despite the fact you guys haven't been teammates yet? Like, how are you guys been able to get so close?
Yeah, I know. I know when fans kind of look at our class, they see the size, they see the strength. Because I remember, uh, it was either you or Bryce posted the graphic about how the size coming in defensive line, and there's
Mm,
so much athletic ability, so much talent that all those guys have, but people don't realize. I mean, we're high schoolers, we're kids,
mhm.
so we love to have a good time with one another. I mean, we'll play games with one another, and we'll message each other about something funny we saw on TV or some graphic that we saw, like it would be like a Monday Night Football clip. And so just having that group chat, just having that bond already is really key. And I love those guys. Those guys are some of my best friends right now. And I'm telling you what, they're goofballs, but they're really fun to hang out with.
Now, guys like Owen Wayful, Manuel Bagel, David Polipale, you four on the defensive line, three technique, five technique nose. How are you with them? Like, how has it been with those guys? And just your excitement just to be going through the process together.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Coach Elson picked. I couldn't think of three other guys that I would want to be teammates with. Coach Elson picked those guys out. They gave him offers, and he recruited them. And just our connection, just our relationship is really special. We connect not just over Michigan football, but just football in general. So if we have some D line clip that we need to be shared, or something that needs technique, or even something we need help with at school, if we see something cool that we'd like to share. It's just that connection on a deeper level than just football.
You guys have all kind of said the same thing about Coach Elson too. He values family. He's a family guy. He has 2 daughters, I think, just a guy who cares about family, and I know that played a big factor in your commitment. How what when you how is Coach Elson with you overall, and just your excitement to be working with him, and just what's impressed you about the way he teaches?
Yeah, just ever since that first moment, my dad always referenced this story when he's asking, or when people were asking him why I chose Michigan. He said when we first walked in his office, like I mentioned in January when I was a sophomore, he was reading a verse from the Bible, and that just gave me like a satisfaction knowing, and a relief knowing that, beyond football, beyond academics, beyond anything, he has that good religious, good spiritual connection just to God. And that's really something I value. It's probably the top thing I value in my life. And so when I have a coach that values the same values that I have, it just gives me great love for Michigan and great love for Coach Elson.
Now, what about Coach Harbaugh? Because I know he played a big factor in you just staying locked in. How excited are you just to be having him lead the program while you're there? And just your relationship with him, how's it been?
Yeah, he's just our fearless leader. What else can I say? He's a great coach. You can look at his track record at Michigan, but not only that, me and Coach Harbaugh are on a constant text chain. I remember there's this thing that goes on in Michigan, and it says "there every day," which
Mhm.
spells out an acronym TED. And he's always like, "All right, Ted, you there every day?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's put quotation T-E-D, and he's like, "Love to hear it." And so we'll have conversations about football. We'll have conversation about family. We'll have conversation about just anything, actually. So it's just that kind of connection where it's not just surface level, not just football, but just kind of those other subjects.
What about strength and conditioning coach Ben Herbert? You have been very open about just your excitement to get physically developed under him in the past. Just, when you're finally there, like, just how's that going to feel?
I'm telling you what, that presentation in January, if nothing else sold me on Michigan, the academics didn't sell me. That presentation sold me. Just looking at the first picture, the first slide where it shows a freshman. I forget who the freshman was. It might have been Hutchinson, actually.
Mhm.
Freshman Hutchinson, and you'll see his picture on the left, and you'll see all red, all where he's at first coming in. So it's 40 a shuttle. Then it's 4 years with Coach Herbert. And then you see Hutchinson on the right, just a Adonis of a human, all green, all everything shredded, not an ounce of fat on his body. I'm like, if Coach Herb can turn Aiden Hutchinson into a second round pick, I think he can turn most anybody. Not saying Aiden Hutchinson's not an athletic specimen as he is, but just seeing the workout. Because I remember I went to that barbecue in July. Now I told my dad after, I was like, within those 15 minutes, that was probably the hardest workout I've had. And I've never been this sore after 15 minutes. He was like, imagine that, but 2 hours. I'm like, can't wait to watch what I look like and what I develop into.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Now, you just mentioned Hutch, that whole defensive line these past few years, just a lot of success with a development and everything, especially this season. When you watch games like the Penn State game, Kenneth Grant running 20 yards to get the running back, or just the production that Mason Graham has had with just one hand, just what's really
Yep.
impressed you about those guys, and, your opportunity to, like, what excites you about that?
Yeah, just like you said, that both those instances shows kind of the effort and the attitude that Michigan football brings. I mean, that shows that they're going to knock you around, they're going to do it every single play, and they're going to pick you, they're going to tackle you, they're going to pick you up, and they're going to do it the next play after that. And just like all their hard work I've seen in the all season paying off, and their accolades that they're getting right now excites me, and I know it excites them, and I can't wait to be a part of that, be a part of those guys. And I know that room's. I know Chris Jenkins is a great personality, big personality. I've been in that room, so I'm just excited. I know he's not staying, but I know his personality continues throughout those guys in that room.
No, I've seen you twice this season. You played a lot of nose this season.
Yep.
Yep, right in front of the center. I Well, first off, how did it feel just to get routinely triple teamed? Because I saw that quite a bit. But also, just your comfort on multiple spots on the defensive line. Like, how did that kind of help you? How will that help you as you get to Michigan?
Yeah. Have you ever watched like a Michigan? I know you, of course, you watch Michigan game, but I'm talking to the fans. The amount of
Mhm.
rotation Coach Elson brings in. So you see a line with Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, then you see a line with Chris Jenkins, Mason Graham, then you'll see an edge rusher playing that 3 technique. And so my ability, because when I was a junior, I went from 5 technique, which is right outside the tackle, to nose guard on senior year. So just being versatile in those 2 roles and playing in between that just a little bit will help me succeed, because it's different footwork. It's not only different footwork, it's different kind of block schemes that you're getting at you. Because if you're nose guard, you're getting that immediate push from the center, then you get a hip knock from that guard, compared to when you're a defensive end where you can get no one on you and the play's going away. But if the play's coming towards you, you get 3 guys on you. So it helps me work on both getting blocked, fighting through that, and also redirecting to the ball. Because at nose guard, you're with the ball every single play.
Mhm.
But at end, you're not. It's about 50-50. So just getting versed in both those aspects and both those routines, playing that inside position at defense line will kind of help me out throughout my entire football career.
Absolutely, for sure. Um, I've said to other colleagues, recruiting reporters, that you're one of the nicest guys in Michigan's 24 class, just big smiles. But, when you're in game, man, you flip on a switch. Like, when you get that pregame speech going, it's, a cuss word every third word. Like, someone mentioned, it was like, it's just a different Ted. And I'm like, that's why he's going to Michigan.
Yep.
Just that nastiness, really. Like, how much do you take pride in that, and just how do you think that will propel you in your career?
Yeah, I mean, you said the speeches I gave. I give a speech every Thursday, just the entire team, and I always mention kind of my last note before I ended the speech. I said, it's not about how much you hate that other team. It's about how you want to play for your teammates. And that's kind of how I got that motivation, how I got that spark. I'm not going to let my teammates down this play. I'm not going to let them down the next play. I'm never going to let them down. And that's where I kind of turned that spark, lit that flame, and just got me going throughout that game.
That's awesome. I mean, you're what, 6'5", 285 right now?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are enrolling in June. So these next several months, what's your plan? What's on the docket for you? What do you hope to get out of these next few months? And just what are you really going to be concentrating on?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to concentrate on speed, because I know Coach Herb's going to send a program. It's not going to be eating. It's going to be weightlifting. So just getting those movements down, so I'm not behind the pack compared to those guys in January. So speed, getting those movements down. And I also play baseball in the spring. So just having fun with baseball that one last time, getting that one last shot at another high school sport, because I know my football ended sooner than I wish. So I'm just getting my time in, because you're only in high school once. That's kind of how I look at it. But while I'm in high school, I'm also going to grind and get better for football.
What's your position in baseball?
I'm first base and pitcher. So if you see me on the mound, I'm just throwing fastballs.
That's your only pitch?
Yep, that's my only pitch, and I'll stick by it.
What's top speed? What have you clocked in at the fastest?
Let's see. I didn't play last year because I was doing all those visits, all those recruiting stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. When I was a sophomore, I threw 85,
That's
86.
cool.
Not bad. Not bad.
No, no. Like, if you're just throwing straight heat, like, that's
Uh,
pretty.
I'll show you the baseball, then I'll throw it. If you can hit it, you can hit it. It's not gonna go very far.
Okay. If you throw a pitch at me, I'm not swinging at it to begin with. So you can throw a change up
Yeah.
for all my care.
Throw a change up. Yeah, in baseball you get a batter that's like 5'6", 140 pounds when he's gonna hit the baseball 350 feet. in football, you get someone like that, you're knocking them 50 yards back. So it's kind of a different aspect where you see some of these teams just bring out their ace against St. X. St. X is that big monster team in Cincinnati. So you'll play a team like a smaller team like Oak Hills, and they'll have a draft pick pitching on the mound against St. X. So playing first base, you're in that 4-hole. It's like they expect you to produce. So I'm just ready for that. It's just fun playing baseball.
Yeah, it's a fun sport. It's just one last thing to do before you get to Ann Arbor for sure.
I remember an NFL player, or so I think CJ Stroud said, basketball players want to be football players want to be basketball players, and they all want to play baseball.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, just a few more. When you get to Ann Arbor in a few months, when you get acclimated and you progress, what should the fans be expected of you? And what do you want the fans to know about you?
Yeah, I just want them to know that I've been blessed with this opportunity, and I'm never going to take it for granted. I'm going to give 100% effort in everything I do. My academics, I'm never going to falter in that. And I'm also never going to falter on the field. I'm never going to miss a lift. I'm never going to miss a film session, and I'm going to dedicate my life to become the best football player I can be.
Now, it's hard to predict the future, but in 3 to 4 years, where do you see yourself and where do you see the Michigan program?
In 3 to 4 years, first of all, I expect myself to graduate. That's kind of something I pride myself on, graduating, getting that good degree from Michigan. But knowing Coach Herbert and knowing Coach Elson, wherever my football career takes me, I trust the process. If that's the NFL, I'm going the NFL. But if that's playing another year, playing a 5th year under Coach Elson, that's playing another 5th year under Coach Elson and getting another year of experience at the University of Michigan. So I kind of look at it the same way as what position I can play. I'm open to anything, and I'll give effort in everything I do.
Awesome. Now, you're more than just a football player. When you are in Ann Arbor and you're not studying, you're not watching film, you're not practicing, you're not lifting, what's something the fans should know about you? What are your hobbies? What are your interests?
Let's see, in Ann Arbor, there's I love country music. We talked about that Jordan Marshall story. I was learning to play. Little side note: I took a class this semester playing the violin and saxophone.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
I don't know how far I'll progress in that, but in my off time, I'm always trying to get better at some little aspect. Kind of that 1% every day. So if that's playing violin, saxophone, if that's trying to get better at guitar, I'm big in the instruments, big musical guy. And so you won't see a lot of gaming. I'll game if my friends are on, because I know Colson Loveland did that Fortnite ad. I thought that was so cool. I was like, if I get that opportunity, I'll take it. But I like doing other stuff that doesn't involve technology.
Like just playing instruments just for your own just enjoyment, or is it like something like, hey, maybe I can join a band, maybe I can join like an orchestra or a band, really? Like, is that something you'd ever thought of, or is it just more like having that skill?
Yeah, I just like having that skill. It's like having I go with my dad wherever he goes, kind of type, where it's like if he's fixing a tire, I'm like, how do you fix that tire? So I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't want to have something that I don't know how to do. I like being able to be well versed in everything I do. And so maybe wherever it takes me in violin, if I keep playing, or saxophone, maybe joining the concert band, but I know probably that's not a practicality. I couldn't imagine.
That's violin's one of the hardest instruments to learn.
Yeah,
so if you can get that down, man, you can get anything down. So kudos to you. But
having a little tiny violin with 11-inch hands does not really play very well.
No, but you can get underneath the shoulder pads of a guard.
Yeah, that's true. I can bat down a ball at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and clog the B gap. That's what it's for. But final question for me. We have asked all the offense and defensive linemen, what's your pregame meal and what's your postgame meal?
I'm telling you what, my pregame meal is a lot healthier than my postgame meal.
Of course.
Let's see. I was big in the Jersey Mike's turkey sandwich at the beginning of the year. Then as the season progressed, I was kind of getting the chicken and rice. There's usually chicken. There's usually white rice, grilled chicken with kind of like teriyaki sauce and some mixed vegetables. But after the game, me and my buddies went to Wings and Rings, and it was kind of all you can eat chicken wings.
Oh,
How many chicken wings you can eat in that day? Because I was like, man, we just got finished with the game. We don't have practice on Monday. Might as well just enjoy. If it was a loss, not the same thing. But if it's a win, we're going crazy because I have my dad's credit card and I just like to spend it. I mean, well, I'm giving him 4 years of free college tuition. The least he could do is help me spend $30 on chicken wings.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Pay up now because you'll save up later.
He did. I do have a big 2017 GMC Sierra truck that he bought me when I committed to Michigan. So I'm one of those guys that's like that thinks that way. It's like, you get 4 years of no college tuition. Let me enjoy my time right now.
It's man, you'll driving a Sierra around Ann Arbor, like,
Yeah, I mean,
you won't be inconspicuous. People are going to see it, like, especially around State Street. Like, just pull up. Like, that's awesome. Though.
I can imagine.
Awesome, man. No, appreciate it again for getting on. Means a lot. Congrats on signing again. And, I myself and the rest of the fans, we look forward to seeing you in Ann Arbor. So thank you so much.